I welcome you all to the Women Coaching Academy. This particular program that I have designed is basically a synopsis of a larger program that I run, and it's called the Women Entrepreneurs Academy. Now, this program, this webinar is for 1.5 hours, and the larger program, the bigger program, is for 12 to 15 weeks. So you can understand that when I am presenting you the synopsis, these are basically certain steps that we cover in great detail over so many weeks. The larger, the bigger program will provide you with all the tools and techniques and everything that you need to create your business model and make it successful. I have captured the essence from that program, and I'm trying to deliver it to all of you, and I will explain each and every step as we move forward. I would request all of you to understand is that everything that you are expecting, you will achieve. And through this program, if you are attentively taking notes, you will be able to achieve your goals and earn the financial freedom. So the objective here for this workshop is that first we are going to identify the challenges, and more or less our challenges would be common. We would also get in touch with our desires. Now, each one of us will have certain desires, why we are in this business, and we will also look at then the 10 steps that would help us build a flourishing business. So this slide is something that all of us are very well aware of. But I'm going to spend some time on this particular slide, and I would like all of you to understand this slide very, very well. As a trainer, as a coach, our main weapon is our knowledge. And that is the reason why people hire us. Because they feel that we would be able to impart certain wisdom, some kind of knowledge that they are otherwise unable to either acquire or fathom. So knowledge for us is the biggest requirement in order to be successful. I keep receiving calls from many women who are asking me for guidance. I have received a call from once from one lady who wanted to get into the coaching industry. And I said, that's very nice. We need more and more coaches. We are so many, there's such a large population. So then I asked her, so what do you know about coaching? So she said, right now, nothing. Now, it's a good thing to have a dream. At the same time, so the suggestion that I had is first acquire the knowledge. Then only you can step forward and start this business. Second important aspect for all of us is the skill. This is the coaching skill and the training skill. Now, when I started, I did not have this skill of how to train and how to coach. And being a salesperson, having come from a sales profession, I knew how to speak. So I did not have the stage fright. So I could stand in front of people and talk. And I would get a lot of appreciation. Many of you here already know me, and they have seen me during that time also, when I just started off as a trainer. And you know that you had appreciated me even then. that, oh, I speak very well and I can train very well. It was only when I underwent a training program myself, a train the trainer program, and I underwent that skill. I learned that skill, or I went through these coaching classes, the coaching certifications. When I went through this, is when I realized how weak I was in my entire the training skills and the methodology. I knew nothing. All I knew was stand and talk, but that is not training. So the skill is very important. Many people come to me and say, I want to be a trainer. And I can very well understand when they say that my communication skills are very well, I can stand and talk. I can understand that because I was there. That was the exact feeling that I had about myself. But that's a wrong feeling. Absolutely wrong feeling. At the same time, I may want to warn you on certain aspects. There are multiple train the trainer programs that are running in our country and globally. Now, not all would make you that superlative trainer that you wish to be. So select your train the trainer program very carefully. Now, at that point, my one request to all of you is that if you are selecting a train the trainer program, be mindful that that program is really going to change you as a trainer, change the quality of your delivery, and make you a preferred choice for all your customers. So at that point, please don't look at money. And the last thing is attitude. And this is something that makes us stronger, bigger, and better. This fraternity, this training and coaching fraternity, anyone who thought that I can do it all by myself and I can do it alone will probably grow only till this much. If you want to grow this much, you need collaboration. So have that attitude. Don't be insecure. Don't think that I'm not going to share my knowledge with others. All of us are very unique in our style. So don't worry. Don't have this fear that if I share this knowledge with my fellow coach or trainer, she is going to get better. No, don't have that fear. This attitude is very important. We are all in this together and we are all going to grow together. The reason I am sharing these 10 steps with you is not, I don't have that fear that, oh, you will learn these 10 steps and then you will get better than you. No, the world is big, huge. And the only desire that I have is for all of us to grow. So let me tell you a little bit, a very small brief about my success story. I was a banker. Training and coaching happened to me as an accident. I was not in this business of training and coaching, So when this happened to me, I was not knowing how to do this. So I left my job, and a few of you who are attending this session would have seen me during that time when I just left my job and got into the training side. It was a very difficult time for me. I was with all the rent that I was paying in Bombay and no income. My savings lasted me for just 3 months. And after that, I was literally hands to mouth. And I wish and pray that none of you should be in that position where I was. Being hands to mouth and worrying every day that how am I going to survive today? How am I going to pay the rent for this month? To find myself cutting down on my entire lifestyle, it used to kill me. And I was almost on the verge of losing my mind, and my friends and family were started suggesting that I should go back to a job, to being a banker again. And that was 2013. And somewhere the lack of the shortage of money was pushing me to give up, but this desire in me to kind of make it big was again holding me back and telling me that, okay, don't give up, don't give up. So I sat down and I did SWOT. What is it that I have, and what are my weaknesses, what are the opportunities, and therefore how can I leverage them? And I realized very clearly that at this point, when I'm trying and going to my sales to do my sales with customers, everybody's asking me the same questions. What are your credentials? Zero. What are you how many clients have you trained? None. And it was difficult. And plus, I had very limited knowledge, very, very limited knowledge. All I knew was certain aspects of how to dress up. So the first step that I took was I started gathering knowledge. I got myself trained and developed the skill and the knowledge in me to kind of start getting into this business. And therefore, in between, for a very short period, for 2 years, many of you would be knowing this, I joined Dale Carnegie as a trainer. The whole idea of joining it was, I didn't understand that, so that I can get the skills and the knowledge. 2016, I started fresh again. So that was 2016 July, from when I started fresh on this thing called my own business. And by 2017 July, I was international. In just 1 year, I was international. I was traveling across South Asia. Many of you know this. And I was busy 20 days a month, and this continued till before this lockdown got me grounded. Now, the reason why I'm saying is that all this got possible because I just decided one thing, that rather than running everywhere and going ad hoc, if I plan my business model, it is easy then to achieve the goals that I have. So like many of you, I have faced these challenges myself. Content. Where do I get the content from? So initially it was all the open source. Wherever I can collect the content and make something of your own. That's not your own. There was no originality in that content, and the clients and the participants could see through it. They could understand this is not mine. And that is the reason why, because I did not put an effort to create the content, the contextualization, the relevance, it was missing out. So we always keep facing this challenge, where do I get the content? So we keep looking for all those people who can provide us with the content. Somebody said, oh, I have a repository of 100, 200 contents. We would jump in. Yes, I need access. Similarly, another biggest challenge then is finding clients. How do I find clients? Where do I find them clients? How do I sell myself? How do I market myself? And another biggest, pricing. Oh my God. I am seeing trainers agreeing to assignments with as low as 2,500 a day. I am not blaming you. Whatever we get, we need to take, and that is my mantra. And then how to face competition. And once we're fighting all these things, and probably if we have fought all these things successfully, now how do I scale it up? How do I make it big? Then suddenly these challenges of COVID-19 and lockdown. And so how do I deal with this change. Now, all these challenges, all of these things could be overcome. All of us can overcome all these challenges. Trust me. And you can earn big. When I'm saying big, I don't know what is in your mind, but if your desire was to earn, say, 75, 80 lakhs a year, the 10 steps that I'm going to tell you will make you earn much, much more than that. 75, 80 lakhs a year will be a thing of past. And I'm not boasting. I am just stating the fact. Each one of us will live a life of luxury on our own terms. And for that, one thing we all need to be very, very, very sure of, and that is discover your desire. What is it that you want to do on a bigger scale? When we are coaching people and when we see them become successful, grow, earn a lot, prosper, it brings a lot of fulfillment. It's this feeling of fulfillment. We can't express it. It makes you feel so happy, so nice about this job, this work that you are doing. So yes, the bigger goal or the bigger vision is to help others grow, to help others achieve what they are looking for. And that becomes our biggest achievement. Having said that, none of us are doing charity. This is a business. So beneath that bigger desire, there is this real desire. And that desire is either I want to earn lots of money, or money is okay as long as I'm able to maintain my current lifestyle. I'm not too hung up on money, but I want to grow. I want to be operational not only in India but everywhere. I want my offices and centers everywhere. Scalability. Or I want fame. I want to be famous like Tony Robbins. Everyone should know me. So each one of us may have either all of them or any of them. But this desire is necessary. You must have this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to introduce you to a poll. And I am going to ask each one of you to please pick up your desire. What is your biggest desire? Please start voting. What is your biggest desire? We'll have just 2 minutes for this voting. Think. Don't be in a hurry. Please think. This is very important. Till the time we do not discover our desire, everything will elude us. All the success will elude us. So be very, very sure. And please don't feel guilty about any of these things. I will give you my example. Because I experienced a life where I was hands to mouth. My biggest desire was earning money. I did not at that point of time think of fame or growth. I wanted to earn money. So, and we all understand one thing. We all believe, being trainers and coaches, we all know the law of attraction, the law of abundance. And I wanted the desire of earning money so much that I made the universe conspire and bring it to me. And once that happened, I started on my next journey of growth. So like that, each one of you will have a desire. Select your desire. We have, I believe, 4 more people yet to vote. 4 or 5 more people yet to vote. I request you all to please start voting quickly so that we can continue. All right, I believe then all of you have already voted. So I'm going to end the vote now. And would you all like to see what has been the result of this vote? Okay, sure. I'm just going to show you that. Are you able to see? Great. So I believe most of us here have voted for growth, and that's a very, very good thing. Very, very good thing. So happy that you are all voted for growth. That would mean that you are starting from a position where you don't have to worry about money. I had to worry about money. So for me, money was the important thing. Many of us are also looking at fame, and that's also a very big thing, because all these 3 things are linked together. We can, if we target one, automatically the other 2 will follow. So don't worry about what is it that I need to follow. All the 3 things are linked with each other. So so let me go back to our presentation. And so we all understand that this is what we are looking for, and we have all discovered our desire. So therefore, let me present to you the 10 steps to a flourishing business. Again, I am reminding all of you that these steps are very tried and tested steps. So please follow them, apply them. Nothing happens without a plan. Any one of you who would have called me before to discuss with me about your plans or how you can grow, you would have always heard me say one thing: plan. Don't just jump into it. Plan it. If you really want to achieve that thing in shorter time. Otherwise, whatever your desire is, money, growth, fame, it will happen. I'm not saying that will not happen. You have so much of desire, you have the capabilities, you have the abilities. So you will achieve it. It will take longer time. All right. So, are we all ready to now get into the 10 steps that will help us earn more, grow more, and become more and more famous? So our first step, as I said, planning is very, very important. Remember that as a mantra. Huh? Don't look for shortcuts. Remember this mantra. Step number 1 is identify your specialization. Now, all of us here, whether we are coaching or into training, whenever, many times when I've asked people, when I've asked ladies that, okay, so what do you train on, or what is this? Oh, I train on everything: communication, leadership, and stress management, and anxiety, and everything. I am a soft skill trainer. Can you count how many soft skill trainers are there in our country? Can you really count and tell me? No, not possible. Similarly, if you are on LinkedIn, you will find that every third profile is written coach. Now just imagine what this creates to the market, or how it affects the market. Now there are these limited organizations, limited number of clients whom we all are targeting. So for the client, for the organization, you are a soft skill, I'm a soft skill, she's a soft skill, she's a coach, she's also a coach, everybody is a coach, everybody is a trainer. How to select? Now all, therefore, the corporate or the organization is left with is select basis money. Whosoever is offering me the least money and is matching with my checklist of requirement, select that person. And that is why it so happens that in the process, few of us are offering our services so low that it's not even valuing the knowledge, the abilities, the capability that we all have. So many times we end up undervaluing ourselves is because we have not found our niche. I always keep telling people, have your niche. For example, my niche is sales. I am a sales coach. I present myself as sales coach, a sales trainer. All my programs mostly on sales. I get hired for sales. People call me for sales. I have done sales, that is my strength. So when I created my specialization, I did my SWOT. What are my strengths? My biggest strength is sales. I know how to sell. So therefore, there are a few questions. How can you find out what is your specialization? There are a few questions. Ask yourself these questions. What is it that you and only you are inspired to bring into the world? And what are you so good at that fascinates other people about you? Because it comes so easily to you, but not as easily to others around you. Then ask yourself another question, that if you could help solve one problem, what is it? For example, if somebody asks me that question, I would say that the one problem that I can help solve is make sales teams not only achieve their target, but overachieve. Take quantum leap in their revenue earning capability. I can solve that problem. I'm very confident about it. Similarly, the last question that you can ask yourself is, if you were to teach and speak about something professionally, what would you teach and speak about? Like by now, no prizes for guessing it right. I would speak on sales. Find your niche. Many of you may know and many of you may not know. So for this year, in the World HRD Congress and the World Coaching Congress that was held in February in Mumbai, I got the Best Sales Coach Award. Now, this is how you have to create your niche, your specialization. I try and do everything related to sales. Does that mean I don't do the other programs? I do. But I need to be known as someone for whom they will call me. Now, once they have called me, it's about opening the door. Once they have called me for one program in sales, it has given me the opportunity to present my abilities and skills. Now they are experiencing me as a trainer, as a coach, and they also know that I have the other credentials, like I'm a Marshall Goldsmith certified coach. I am a certified instructor from Leaders Excellence. So there are many such things that they already know. Then they start opening up, they start discussing, and then eventually I get the other programs as well, which I know I can do. I don't take up any of those things, any such program that is not my expertise. And that is where collaboration comes into the picture. I don't want to lose the client. But then I find trainers like you who have specialization in and expertise in certain fields. And I pick up that job and I give it to trainers like you. So find your specialization. It is very, very, very critical. Without that, you will be just one among many. And all that success that you are dreaming for will keep eluding you for a very, very, very long time. And you will probably struggle a lot and for long. So this is the first step. Of course, the Women Entrepreneurs Academy helps in kind of designing it very well, and you are able to exactly pinpoint your specialization. That is how we do in the Women Entrepreneurs Academy. But I believe you all are smart enough. I don't have to get into that detail. Know this, that you have to. There are ways of finding your specialization. I'll help you out later. After you have identified your specialization, develop your target market. It is very important to know who is my ideal customer. And before I can even get an idea about my ideal customer, it is very, very important to be clear about yourself. What is your desire? What do you want? What are you good at? What are your strengths? What is that specialization? Unless I know that, I will not be able to pinpoint my ideal customer. The reason developing a target market is important is it saves us time. We are not then running around everywhere. Something that all of us, I have seen it as trainers and coaches, all of us are very good at delivering. So once the business is there, we are very good at standing and delivering and coaching. But what about acquiring clients? Sales is required now there. And these are signs of sales. Develop your target market. How do we develop? Ask these questions again to yourself. What kind of problems can you solve? So when you are deciding that this is my ideal customer, define their problem. These are the kind of problems that this set of people should be facing. Then how to solve those problems? Not necessarily you can solve it, but if suppose a person has this as a problem, what are some ways that this problem can be solved? Then the third question is, how can you benefit them? Now, you could be a part of the entire solution, or you may feature in a part of the solution. Then once you have these things ready, then of course the question is that where will you find them? Where are they? Are they working in offices? Are they sitting at home? Will I find them in some co-working spaces? Many of you might be working with startups. You may say that I help startups develop a brand. Okay, so what is the problem? So the problem is that they are starting up and they want to be visible, but they don't have a brand to show, and they are facing the problem of not being able to highlight themselves. Where will you find them? Maybe in these co-working spaces. The first place, easy to find, is co-working spaces. Then ask yourself a question: what will they not buy from? Because all of us have a lot of products, and when we go to our customers, I can do leadership, I can do communication, I can do sales, I can do anxiety, I can do mindfulness, I can do health, so many things. But not all my offerings are relevant and suitable for my ideal customer. And that is the reason why when we go and try and sell, we confuse our customers. And then they say, okay, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. So knowing the ideal customer, knowing my target market, defining them will also allow me to present the most relevant solution to my customer. So also know that this customer, this ideal customer of mine, are not going to buy these aspects. So if sales is my forte, there are certain aspects that my sales process training salespeople will not take. So I have to be very, very careful about what I am sharing. Now, I will give you a few examples here if you are able to see. I don't know if this slide is large and big, but suppose, for example, we have a yoga business coach. Yoga business coach, not a yoga trainer, not someone who just, it's not a B2C. So who is the ideal client for this person? The ideal client for this coach are all those yoga teachers, men and women, aged 35 to 55, who teaches yoga as a freelancer and desires to grow their yoga business. So this coach helps other yoga trainers to grow their business. Now, what is the main desire for this ideal customer? What are the main desires for them? To earn more income with greater ease, welcoming more students into their classes, and offerings with more confidence and authenticity. And what is this? What is it that the ideal customer fears? Their main fear is not being visible online, being judged by their peers, not having what it takes to be successful, not feeling confident in marketing and in marketing and business, making success. So this is how we then define the ideal market. I'm going to share with you two more examples. We have a registered dietitian, holistic health coach. Ideal client for this coach, women aged 27 to 40, who are doing a lot of the right things, food and health wise, and still cannot see results from all of our efforts due to an unhealthy digestive system. Main desire of these people: to feel good in her body and clothes again, to be able to eat normally without experiencing symptoms of inflammation. So she can also teach her children how to eat that they will have a health long term. She's saying so much about me. I seem to be her ideal client here. Main fear that this is as good as it gets, and she has to settle for her body because of her age, metabolism, and none of her past attempts. Oh my God, please find me this coach somewhere. Now the next example: leave your corporate job. So business coach, someone like me. This is my example. Say, ideal client, young corporate women who are really stressed in their hectic overworked lives and don't like their corporate job, want to start a business and be their own boss, a work that I am doing, and I'm sure many of you are also doing. Main desire: travel, money, purpose, and to ultimately replace their corporate salary. Main fear: they know there is more to life than their bureaucratic career, but they are scared to give up the secure careers. A problem that I had, but I took risk. But I know I've spoken with many corporate women. They want to, they have this passion about a business, they have that idea, they do it as a hobby, but they're very afraid to leave their job and jump into the business. So I hope these examples have made it clear to all of you that who should be your ideal client and how we need to define an ideal client. So one assignment you have to do once you go, as I said, it is planning. First, identify, do your SWOT, a detailed SWOT. Now, each of these steps takes a week. So don't be in a hurry. As I said, it's a part of the entire 12 to 15 weeks program. Each of these steps take a week. That much of thinking has to be put into these steps. Then the third step is to design our packages and the pricing. Now, once I know who is my ideal customer, I know their problem area, I know what is it that they're looking for, I have to start designing the package. What is it that I will start selling? Now, understand something from a customer's perspective. Whenever we are designing it, don't design it from your perspective. Oh, I like it. Oh, it's looking very nice. No, always design a package from the customer's perspective, because eventually they are the ones who has to like it and buy it. So whenever we are designing, keep in mind that a customer will always look at those packages, or will always find those packages irresistible, where the effort from the customer's side is less, but the value that they are getting out of it is much, much, much more. Efforts from a customer's perspectives are two things: primarily the cost aspect, which is a very big thing for them, and the time. How much time do I have to put in? But the value perspective that they can look at could be certain gain, whether it's a professional growth that they are getting, they're able to earn more money. If any one of you are a money coach, wealth coach, to get into shape. So all these things, anything could be a gain. Then there is an urgency. If the customer is if I'm able to show through my package that this is very, very important, urgent for the customer to take right now. And if there is an emotional aspect behind that particular need, like for example, many of my coaches have come to me, and I have refused them because they feel that because many in their peer group have taken coaching, leadership coaching, and very proudly they announce, oh, I have leadership coach, an executive coach who was like. So they get into this emotional aspect of imitation. I want to imitate. In order for me to show that I'm also successful and I've reached somewhere, I need to imitate. And I also need a coach for myself. Now, all those who are coaches, you will understand that for coaching, the primary rule is that the need has to come from within. The coachee needs to feel the need to be coached. And that is the reason why we have to also understand what is the emotion behind this particular need that they are sharing with us. Now, once we have understood their perspective, then we can design our packages. Now, when we are designing a package, I would ask every one of you to design multiple packages so that it caters to all sorts of customer requirements. For example, you can create single session packages, which is like just one session. For example, I'm doing this webinar. It's a single session package, just one session. I will do it, and then that's it. It could be, this is right now free. It could have been a paid session also. Then I also have a full service package, which is my Women Entrepreneurs Academy, a full service package, which runs for 90 days. It's a 90-day thing. And so what happens is then so I have these two different packages that are running. Then also design packages which are standard and packages which could be customized. So whenever you are going and offering to a person, you can always offer them that there are standard packages. Now, of course, standard packages are not contextualized to the local audience. Therefore, and these standard packages are already made. I've already prepared them and kept them with me. So they are not taking so much of my effort. That's the reason these standard packages price less. But the minute but I can also offer customized package where then there's a lot of research that I do. I bring relevant example, I contextualize it to your industry, and so the price is different. Then also when we are designing a package, create these different packages which is as per the client commitment. Some clients are only willing to commit you that 2 days of classroom, and some clients are willing to grow with you through the entire session every week. So again, keeping in mind that ideal clients and what level of commitment they would be in, have certain packages designed for as per the client commitments also. Definitely do have a mix of high end package as well as economic package. Have both. Don't say that I only sell economic or I only sell high end. I have also come across certain coaches where I have given them a reference because I could not do it. It was not my specialization. So I gave it to that coach, and the trainer was very clear, high end only. Why high end? Because she would not take any work which is a 2 days classroom. She wants it to be a lengthy piece. Now, of course, this is their value system. This is their business model. My suggestion is then it shortens our scalability. I know we are not then able to reach to everyone. Not everybody will be so committed. So have high end packages as well as economic packages, and also create modules which are done as intensive. Intensive means I can finish them in a 2 days classroom or a 1 day classroom, and also time space. That is the same program, but over a period of time. I am not doing it. So basically, I do it now, one module. I give you a week's time. You covered this whole thing. Then I come back again next week. I do it again. I give you a new model, take a reporting of your the assignments that I have given, and then introduce the new things to you, give you the assignments. So like that, time spaced. So designing these packages take a lot of time, and you have to therefore have a lot of faith in your abilities and have a repository of knowledge. Don't miss out on the knowledge part. The next step, which is the fourth step, is not the fourth step, sorry, the pricing part. Let us understand that why does the pricing aspect scare us so much? Now, these are certain worrying thoughts that I have heard. Probably many of you may also have these thoughts. And I'm telling you that these are a fact. It is okay to have these worrying thoughts. So if it comes to your mind that no one will pay for my packages, give yourself certain affirmation. Tell yourself that in order to mitigate that or in order to overcome that worrying thought, tell yourself that I have something extremely valuable to offer the world, and there is an overflowing of abundance that says my packages are worth this amount. Believe in what you are giving. This fear that people will not pay for my package is not people problem. It's your problem because you don't believe in your own package. And that is the reason you are so afraid to charge. Believe it. You will be able to charge it. Sometimes certain worries comes that people may not believe. They may think that I may not come across as credible, and that is the reason why they may not pay me. They may think that I'm a fraud. I just said something and I'm not going to keep up to it. Again, tell yourself, know one thing, that you are offering very high level transformational services. Any thought that you are less is only your fear, and that is not the truth. That is not the truth. You're not less. So no one is going to question your credibility if you believe and if you talk with that passion. Always remember, believers sell. I keep telling it in all my selling skills classes. Believers sell. People who believe in their product, their offerings, and in themselves, only they are able to sell. And the third thing happens whenever few of us start quoting high prices is, what if I can't help them? What if they don't get the results? Now here, something we all have to understand is that it is my job to offer my client the necessary tools, the encouragement, and the support necessary to create a meaningful transformation in their lives. However, it is the client's responsibility to take action. Much like the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So right at the start, when I present my solutions, I make it very clear to them. I'll give everything. So they are saying, so how much? So because whenever we reach the return on investment discussion, that is when the clients start asking, okay, so what are the results that we are expecting? I said, see, if these things are applied, then this is the result that they will get, provided these are applied. And the applicant, whether they're applying or not applying, is a responsibility that you are going to take as HR, and the business head is going to take as an owner. If this doesn't happen, this is not happening. I also have a package which says guaranteed return on investment. Now, in a package like that, what happens is it's basically a package which is on a long term. I do not give this package for those intensives, but in this package, what I offer to my clients is that we do this, and this is the return that guarantee. And so, if the total amount charging is for this phase is 5 lakhs, then I take 75% for doing my job, and the remaining 25% I will take only after the results come out. Now, in that case, what happens? The results to go, I personally work with them, the follow-up coaches, the hand-holding, the reporting, everything I do, so that the results are thing. And right at the beginning, it is very important to agree on the result that the clients are expecting. Right at the beginning, agree to it. Later, I want to see growth. Now, the definition of growth is different for me, is different for you. When we both discuss, okay, I need growth. Okay, fine, don't worry, we'll get growth. Growth for me, probably, as a coach, as a leader, I know that if nobody applies, if only a few % applies, the growth probably will be, all they will be able to see is 20% people applying and showing a certain growth. And the customer knows it to me that in the customer's mind, the growth is all the 100% of people who are going through this growth should be able to show some growth. There's a difference. So the agreement has to happen right at the start. So something that you'll have to create for yourself is this particular chart, where you have these packages. So you highlight on every column. These rows are of all packages. Package number 1, package 2, package 3, and then on the column you have these packages. What constitutes? What are you offering in this package, and what is its price? And what is what is offered to the customer, so that will make them. And how is these things that you are offering, how are these going to benefit your customer? So this is a chart that each one of us should create and keep with us. It helps us that This becomes a reference point and it helps us. Hopefully these steps so far are clear. These are all very, very critical steps. So if any one of you who joined here thought that I'm going to give you a magic spell and say abracadabra, and you will have this, you will be able to suddenly and change yourself, then that is not going to happen. It is hard work. Setting up your business, hard work. The next step, I can see a lot of you are asking questions. Unfortunately, I am not seeing the chat piece right now, and that is why I requested that keep the questions till the end. Your questions may just get jumbled up among all these chats, so please ask the questions again later. Now, the step number 4 is discover your brand. Creating your brand is very important, both personal as well as the professional brand. Creating it is very, very important. Now, all those who are already in the field of personal branding, you understand this very well. At the same time, let me reiterate and re-emphasize the importance of a brand. Branding is the process of influencing perception. If you do not want to be running behind clients, if you do not want to do cold calling every customer and trying and searching for customer and go through that hassle, then you want your customer to look for you and call you. And if you want that, you should be called, and you have to develop your brand. Very, very important. Create a brand that people can reckon with. So when we are creating our brand, define your brand, define what is the brand promise. So if people know Pratha Dubey, what is the promise that they know that will get fulfilled from Pratha Dubey or Success Vitamin? What is the perception? What kind of a perception I want the audience to have of me? That I'm a sales coach, I'm a sales trainer. Perception, create it. What should be the persona? Bold persona, subtle persona. What should be this brand's persona? My brand's persona is bold. You can see it in my colors. It's red. And what elements should get into it? Now, I'm not getting into too details of each one of these, otherwise we will take a lot of time. Another one quick way of selecting a branding is to identify with your favorite brand. Each one of us have an idol or an ideal person whom we are following as a leader, as a coach, as a trainer. Go through their branding, identify with that brand, and then try and see if they are, because I am following them, I admire them, because there are a lot of things that they do that matches with them. I'm able to associate myself with them. So identify yourself with that brand and pick up some inspiration from that brand. It will help you in designing your own branding. Look at how they present themselves. Look at how they dress up. Look at how they talk. Look at how they have designed their website. Look at the different ways they are posting. So identify and then pick up your brand. Fine-tune the brand definition, that is the visual, the colors that you choose, the tone, what kind of a logo you are going to put it, the personality, how you are going to present your brand. And also, very importantly, decide on a brand archetype. Like, here are certain examples I have given. The brand archetype could be of a creator. Now, if creator is a brand archetype, you will find companies like Sephora who fall under this creator archetype. Now, what basically they are saying here is that these type of brands are visionary and authentic. They are they see the big picture and strive to craft something new. Then there are brands like Oprah Winfrey, who have this archetype of being a caregiver. What does it mean? Put others before themselves. They are compassionate, generous, trustworthy, and their meaning comes from caring for others. Then you have these brands like Starbucks, Rolex, Dolce & Gabbana. They are the ruler archetype. So they say that the ruler things done. They appeal to our desire to be successful and important. They are commanding, leading, and authoritative and in control. So decide your brand archetype. That is also very, very critical. So once you have then discovered your brand, so you've identified your specialization, you have decided your target market, you have designed your packages, and accordingly you have chosen the pricing for the packages. The next step that we need to do is preparing the content. As I said, collecting content from open source is a good start, quick start. It's okay. At the same time, there is no originality. And I understand, because these content are available in open source, the good learners, the keen learners, they know where you have collected this content from. And then it hampers our brand. So it could be a good idea. I know that we are not research scholars that we can really create those models. We can't create that. But we can definitely research and come up with content that we can contextualize as per the needs and the wants of our audience, of our trainees and coaches. So the biggest thing is that the people whom I am coaching or training should find relevance in whatever we are giving. So therefore, doing the research is very important. Finding the context to the local audience, to the people whom I am sharing it with. Linking that context is again very, very critical. Create a storyboard. What is it? I'm sure all of you know how to create a storyboard, so I'm not getting into the detail of how you can create a storyboard, but create a storyboard. But while you are creating your content, be very, very mindful of whether you are not picking up any content that has a copyright issue or a IP issue. Be very mindful about even the words that you are writing. Be very mindful about plagiarism. It is a big crime. And also create contents keeping in mind the time that people are willing to invest. So creating a content is needs some time. We have to spend some time while we are creating this content. So research is very important. Do your research and then gather everything and design it with your brand. As you see, this is a PPT that I'm showing you, but it is designed in my branding. So everything will have my branding. When you entered this webinar, you would have seen my branding. So creating, branding yourself through everything that is visible to the outside world is very, very important for all of us, because that is where we are creating the perception, and that is how we will be able to influence. So prepare the content, create a lot of contents, spend all the time, this time that we have during this COVID-19 lockdown phase that we are going through. Don't just, it is good to do a lot of stuff that was pending. While you are spending or investing your time in learning new things, please also keep aside some time in building contents. Create your own repository. Don't look for shortcuts. Create your own repository. The next important step, therefore, after that is to write a powerful sales pitch. Now, I have given you the 9 steps that will help you write a powerful sales pitch. Now, these are the steps which, whether you are putting them up on your landing page of your website, or it is going as a emailer to your customers, or it is on a flyer, or it's over the phone when you are talking, or face to face. This is sales, and this is the science. So this is how you write a powerful sales pitch. It starts with a very strong headline which immediately grabs attention. People will want to read further. 10 steps to a flourishing training and coaching business will make people read further. Next step is, what's the problem? And you would have found in my flyer the questions that are worrying us. So highlight, if you are going through this, are you feeling this? You would have seen most of these tele ads, they use this. Kya aap dukhi hain? Why? This is starting off the problem statement. Now, once you have highlighted the problem statement, then give your solution. How you are helping in solving that problem. Now, once you then the question is, why should they believe you? Why would they believe that you will be able to help them solve their problems? So, provide present credibility. Share your credentials. After you've shared the present, then you have established credibility. Drive the benefits. Again, so if you are doing this, these are the benefits that you are going to get from this program. Add some evidence, certain testimonials of what others are saying about this program. Now, this helps re-emphasize the credibility, and it helps them take a decision quicker, faster. Then you make your offer. That is, this is what you are getting. If you are, so basically in this, you are talking about the features. What are you getting? You will get the tools, you will get the techniques, you will get the methodology, you will get every week 60-minute session with me. You will also be receiving a lot of ebooks and assignments. So what are the things that they will get? And then if there is a bonus offer, if you are registering now, you are getting this discount, that discount, or you will get this book of free. So a bonus offer, if any, and then the call to action, that is now. Register now. Enroll now. Yes, tell me how. Anything, a call to action button is then what we need to put in. So this will take a lot of time. Don't be in a hurry. Again, none of the steps you should do in a hurry. Take your time. But trust me again, these are the things that will give you the growth. If you go all over the place, it will take a lot of time. If you want growth faster, follow these plans. I have done this myself, and that is the reason why I'm so confidently able to share all these steps with you. The next step, and this is the step number 7, create a free offer. Now, why is this free offer important? It is to entice people so that you are able to collect their names, their phone numbers, their email IDs, and then you are able to keep offering them your other packages, the paid packages. So initially, when I started off, when I knew that I don't have the credentials, and I started initially to create that credibility, to showcase my abilities, I was doing trainings and coachings for free. I still do. There are many such free offers that I give. So, for example, if you are just starting up, any one of you who is just starting up as a trainer or a coach, you may offer them a complimentary session, sign up for a complimentary session or a consultation. You may offer them to subscribe for certain free tips, advice, or weekly newsletters. You may have someone interview you and then give away that audio. So these are certain things that you can do if you are looking at, if you are starting up. Now, if you are already in a position and you've already created content, then some of the easy options that you have is, for example, download this free article. that is the 7 secrets to weight loss, or download this free checklist, or access my free audio, or download my interview, or attend my free webinar. So these are certain, these free offers help you attract more and more audience, and you are able to create that list. What do you do with that list? You use it. So the next important step after you have done your after you have your free offers is, and it is very, very important in today's world, be a social media queen. If you are not visible, no one knows you. 2 days or 3 days or 4 days you are not on social media, people have forgotten you. So to be, and in this way of when we are fighting so much of competition, and the organizations have so many options to choose from, being a top of mind brand recall is very, very important, and we will be able to do that only if we are socially very, very active. So there are a few suggestions on the Facebook. I know all of you have a Facebook profile of yours, but for a business, for your business, have a different page, and try and pull traffic to that page. Keep your personal profile separate from your business profile. Okay. You can use Instagram, Pinterest are it's a very helpful tool to draw people to your website or to the page. All you do is you create those, you put those pictures of your that have relevance to your brand and your content, and when people click it, they come to your website. Use Pinterest, LinkedIn. Now in today's world, last 2 years or 3 years now, I haven't done selling. All the business that I get now, and the reason that I am busy 20 days a month, this happens only through LinkedIn. I don't approach, they approach me. A very, very powerful tool. Use it to your best. Keep writing articles, keep putting up certain posts, engage with others. And it is not only you writing an article or putting a post. How people get to know is the more the network we expand on LinkedIn. Expanding your network. From first connection, the second connections know us, the third connections know us. And that is only possible when we are not only creating content that engages others, but we are also participating in others' content. Because that person will have many other network. And when we add value through our participation, the others in their network knows me. So be very active on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Use them. Remember, there should not be one single day that you are not visible. But you cannot post something which is absolutely irrelevant and that may tarnish your brand. So be mindful of that and post only meaningful content. The next 9th step is get your website. If you already have, very good. If you don't, please get it. It is very easy. You can also start with a 4-page website. That is the home, about, programs, and contact us. Just the 4-page. Good enough. Good enough. But when that website is done, or if you already have a website, please take a look at it. It should reflect your brand definition. As I said earlier, also get inspired. Look at the people you follow, you admire, and get inspired. Take ideas from them. The photos that you put up, this is not a Facebook, it's your website. And even the pictures need to present your brand. It needs to tell the same story that your brand talks about. There has to be certain call to action button and have a very compelling landing page. So remember the sales pitch, that should happen. The landing page should follow that sales pitch, because that is what will let people then take certain action. And the last step, very, very important, plan your marketing strategy. Without marketing, nothing happens. We have to market ourselves. There's a difference between selling and marketing. I'm talking about marketing. So either have a marketing person with you, like I've hired someone who does all my marketing work. So, which means the email marketing, the social media posts. She creates all my marketing strategies, and she keeps me visible all the time, because I don't have time. I travel so much. Well, as I was sharing with you, I'm mostly outside the country, and I cannot now design all these things. So I've hired a marketing person. At the same time, if you have the time and you know you can save on the money also by doing it yourself, do it. So MailChimp will help you with the email marketing strategy. Then social media posts, I already spoke to you about. Create blogs, that is the video blogs. A lot of, not too much, don't bombard people, but have it come across periodically. It can be like a playlist, the same thought you're talking about, or it could be different thoughts, but bring them out periodically. Write blogs, write them. Now for writing blogs, you can write them on LinkedIn as a separate article. You know how to write it on LinkedIn. Medium, a channel, is a very good channel. Medium, a social media post like a LinkedIn, but it is only for blogs, and lots of people follow Medium. So write on Medium, highlight it. It will reach a lot of people. You may even answer a lot of questions on Quora. That allows many people to come to you. So topics of your choice, and you can really answer them. Many people then know you. Grow your network as much as possible. As I said, these free offers will help you collect all these contact lists, the names, the email addresses, and then you can have your email marketing strategies, or you can grow your network through them. Use these page boosts, the advertisements on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, so that it reaches more and more people. You may have your YouTube channel at the same time. It cannot have other stuff which does not relate to your brand. So whatever you're putting up on your YouTube channel should again present your brand. Have podcasts. You would have heard so many podcasts happening nowadays. People enjoy listening to podcasts. There are podcast softwares. You can download them. You can record your podcast and add audio to it, and you will sound beautiful. People love hearing podcasts, so you can start creating certain podcasts. Then conduct webinars, free webinars. If you want, this helps in reaching more and more people, and get into partnerships. It also helps in marketing yourself. Different kinds of partnerships. Like I have partnered with gaming companies. I partnered with assessment companies. Also, as I was telling you that not all train the trainer programs provide that kind of a skill. So I did a lot of research in which one, because even I was providing a train the trainer program. But then I realized that I can give you the knowledge, and I can help you become a better one. But what also many trainers are looking for is a certification. And I did research from across the world of all the institutes who are offering train the trainer program. And then I found this one train the trainer institute called the International Board of Certified Trainers. They are a Europe based board who certifies trainers. And this certification is, once you get this certification, you become international level trainer. Yes, they are very, very rigid about their quality parlance, so they don't accept anyone and everyone to come and do their programs. So what I am doing now is they are not present in India, so I tied up with them, and I am bringing IBC to India. So very soon after the lockdown is over, in India we will start having these IBCT certified trainer programs. So these are the 10 steps that I promised you and that I have personally applied, and which has helped me. Now, one more thing that I would like to tell you is that this is through this helps us in creating the business model. But we need to ensure that we are maintaining whatever we have planned on month. So something that I would like to show you is a chart that I have created for myself, and I follow it. Very well, and I don't know if you will be able to see this chart. It is not showing in a landscape format. Let me see if I minimize it. No, it is not showing you in a landscape format. Let me just try and see if it is possible. Okay, no, it's showing in a it's showing in a portrait mode. Okay. I'll just show you if you can see this particular chart. This is actually, it's a combination of all the charts. So, or maybe what I can do is, okay, so this basically has all the clients. You can list down all the clients, and you need to give your projection here, that what is the cost of the package that you are proposing, and how many days or hours it is per package, and how many have you delivered. So how many number of active clients do you have now, and how much of sales you have done. So this is how this entire package works. So I will take you to this. I have this package for 2018-19. I'm just going to show you one small part, which is unfortunately this is showing in a portrait mode in this aspect. I don't know why, but if you can see this is a full sheet. So this is for, I'm showing you something for 2018. Now for January, I will show you all the columns one by one. Unfortunately, it is not showing here. So these are the months in one column. Then I have the business or model or the package. So I have these 90-day sessions, and then there are these intensives. Intensives basically are those classroom sessions. So a number of how many. So in January, so if you look at the third column, which is the number of active clients, this is the projection, and also I try, and this is the projection. So and then finally I see how much of this I have been able to achieve. And usually when I create it at the start of the year, it gives me a direction, and I know that okay, I have done so many of this package. So now I don't focus on that package anymore. I start focusing on the other packages which are part of my projection, and I have not sold them. So so these number of active clients are basically the number of such programs that I have sold. So this is incentive. So say I have sold these 2 days incentive, 3-day incentive, 3-day incentive in the month of January. Like that, how many of these? Now, what are these incentives? I'll tell you. What are these different programs? These programs are basically of different pricing packaging. So if you see here, so there is this is again going to July. Now let me show you this page. So if January I had, now you will see that there are different pricing. So the first one was the 90-day session. That is the face-to-face session. Now I usually, so it says cost per hour or day. This is a 25,000 per hour is what I charge. The total hours in each of these packages should be 12. And for this month, that is the third column, I have delivered 4. So the sales that has happened for this month is 1 lakh. Now the next package I have created these different packages. I have a lot of packages. So one package is 25,000 per day. And I have created a schedule in such a way that I will not sell. So for example, for 25,000 a day, my schedule was that I will not do more than 2 clients in this day. So what I think the easier way probably will be if I am able to share my screen for all of you. It will be easier for me to show you. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is how it is. Let me just explain. So this is so there are these 2 programs that I will do for 25,000, and it is 2 days program, and I have delivered 2. So I have probably 3 clients. So this is how much I'm going. So like that, I have created different packages, which is basically talking about what is the cost per day and how many days per package. So some programs are 1 day programs, some programs are 2 days programs. So these are my projections. I have designed it that way, that this is how I need to be selling. So overall, if I show you in suppose, for example, in the month of January, I have planned for myself basically 3 programs, and it is probably maximum the plan is for 8 to 10 days every month. Not the plan is not for more than that, because I keep extra days because I do a lot of consulting work also, and that kind of keeps me engaged in the outside India. So when I go, I have to probably stay for 7 days or 10 days or 15 days. So that kind of makes me so that is the reason why I had to plan it that way. So overall, when I create a plan like this, then what happens that eventually I am able to reach a position where I can then understand that how much total I am able to earn from it. So I wish I was able to show you this sheet, but if you see this sheet, this is my projection, and the total that I have projected here of the total earning that I have projected here is of 81 lakhs for the year. And when I have created this projection, and it is not too much of clients that I have, not too many packages also, maybe for every package, for this package 1, for some packages 2. I know that my larger packages, which are of my high-end packages, I may not have too many clients for the high-end packages, but I keep my target in such a way that every quarter 2 or 3 clients I should be getting on my high-end packages, which are 1 lakh and more packages. And I also have a limitation that I will not do any program below 25,000. So this is when I have created my packages, and that is the kind of projection then that we are able to show. So this is what in this program that I had to share for you. As I told you earlier, that this is a part of the larger program, which is the Women Entrepreneur Academy. And if you are looking for a mentorship yourself right now, because there are a lot of steps, and I understand that getting a guidance would always help. And I had faced this problem personally when I started up, because there was no one to guide me or mentor me or tell me these are certain things. So it probably took me 2-3 years before I could take that quantum leap. But once I figured out all these things, and then I started applying them, which was in 2016, as I said, it took me time because nobody gave me all these tools before. So it took me time to collect all these tools. But once I figured out and I collected them, it took me just a year to become international and reach that level of earning, which I wanted. So if you want, you can go on to my website, and you will be able to avail the tools. So far, I was doing the Women Entrepreneur Academy as a one-on-one mentorship. At the same time, I am working on making it a bigger program, for a group program sort of a thing. So if I get more people, then I may want to do it in a group program, or it would be more um, one-on-one.